Callaway Big Bertha Woods are considered pioneers in golf in terms of popularising the use of titanium in golf clubs. My mum bought this club back in 1995, but how does it compare against the 2020 Callaway Mavrik fairway wood? So the two clubs we've got here are the 2020 Callaway Mavrik 3 wood and the Big Bertha Warbird 3 wood. So obviously the Mavrik has a significantly bigger club face, but the face is actually shallower. For me, the biggest difference comes when looking at the leading edge. So here we've got a much narrower and sharper leading edge. It definitely gives you more of a hybrid feel. I would say for me it gives you the impression that the intention with this club is to kind of have a steeper angle of attack and to be hitting down into the ball more. Whereas if you look at kind of the more newer fairway woods, you get this much more impression that it's designed to sweep the ball. Maybe that's just down to kind of a more increase in knowledge. Obviously we've got a lot more use from launch monitors now, and we know that having a bit of a shallower angle of attack with your fairway woods compared to your irons is going to help you get that optimum distance. The hosels look massively different here. If you can see, we've got this super slim hosel here, whereas on the Mavrik we've got a lot more longer, more elongated one. The shaft is actually longer in the Mavrik too. I don't think this is necessarily anything to do with the age of the clubs, but more the fact that this has got a ladies shaft in it, so they're generally designed to be a bit shorter. It's actually really interesting to see that we've got a Callaway manufactured shaft in this. So this is the Callaway Ladies Gem shaft. It's 55 grams in weight tin, so that's a little bit lighter than what I've got in the Mavrik, which is weighing in at 60 grams. Now the final difference comes down to the loft. We've got 15 degrees on the Mavrik and 15.5 on the Big Bertha. I think this is probably also because it's a ladies club, so they're trying to give you a bit more launch to get that kind of softer land angle. So we'll have to see how that affects the kind of difference in shots. Usually I hate grey finishes on the top of clubs, but I actually don't mind this. It felt a bit low off the face, but actually distance-wise it still did alright. I would say I actually really like the slightly deeper look to the face as well. Now, obviously I can't see the launch, but it does feel like it's coming out a bit lower to me. I would say it feels pretty solid to hit, but it doesn't really feel like I'm getting the most out of the energy I'm putting into the ball in terms of ball speed and power coming off the face. This club looks actually massive over the ball now. It's definitely giving you a bit more confidence though. The feel is just on a different level. Now, interestingly, my club head speed's gone up a bit there, but also my attack angle has actually decreased. So as I said before, this looks like you want to sweep it more. So it's interesting to see that I actually am reacting to that, and I am putting a different attack angle on it. So my attack angle's almost a degree less there. Yeah, so I'm definitely getting a bit more distance with that. That was up at 190, whereas with the other one my best was kind of 181. Slight increase in club head speed is going to help that, but it's not massive. What I would say is I think I actually prefer the slightly shorter length shaft in the other club. This club just makes me feel like I'm going to hit a good shot. Okay, so that was my best one yet. It's carried 197 yards. I've had nearly a 1 positive attack angle. It's launched at 15 degrees as well, which is actually quite a bit higher than the previously. I was going to get kind of 12 degrees launch with that one, so when I said I felt like it was coming out lower, that is actually what was happening. So when it comes to looks, I actually really like what they've done here. Obviously it's very simple in styling, but I really like the colour and especially how they've matched that in with the kind of arrow on the top. It's also nice to see that they've kept things in common, like having this arrow that runs throughout the entire range, so you always know it's a Callaway club. Now obviously the finish on the top of the crown with the Mavrik is nicer, but what I would say is the Warbird has actually made me realise that this is quite busy, and although the finish is of higher quality, maybe they could have simplified it a little bit more, but I still do really like the way they styled this club, even the colours and the finish, so obviously it's going to have to be a win for the Mavrik in the looks category. When we're looking at feel, I think this was probably the category where there was the biggest difference between the two. For me, the Warbird was kind of quite dull off the face, and it didn't really feel like you were getting that powerful shot out of the face, even if you were getting a good strike. Whereas instantly with the Mavrik, it felt great off the face. Like, it's probably one of the best feeling clubs I've hit this year. I think the improved sound in that is definitely a big factor. So for me, the Mavrik's going to have to win the feel category by quite a country mile, really. Obviously, when we're talking about performance, I couldn't see the ball fly and see how the ball was kind of landing and reacting on either a green or a fairway. So I'm just going to have to go from the numbers from the GC2 here. So my longest shot with the Big Bertha Warbird was actually 181 yards. Now the launch on this was a bit left, so I think it was kind of a bit of a low pull, but that was the longest shot I got out of it. In comparison, the longest shot I got with the Mavrik was 197 yards. So 16-yard difference with only 1 mile an hour club head speed extra. Now obviously that's a very big difference. I think a lot of that's going to come down to the tech differences in the club face. Obviously we've got the AI face in the Mavrik this year, jailbreak and lots of other technology that wouldn't have been in those original models. But also I would say I think I optimised my swing better with this club. I had like a more shallow angle of attack, which I think was just going to help for me with a slightly slower swing speed, get that extra distance, compared to say maybe a PGA Tour pro who's going to hit down it a bit more, which is more optimal for them. I also found I was launching the ball a bit higher with the Mavrik. For me that's quite important because I'm usually using a 3-wood off the fairway into a green on a par 5, so I'm wanting to be able to stop the ball quickly, so getting that higher launch and a softer land angle is really important. So obviously with 15 yards extra carry, the Mavrik's going to win this category and win 2-3 overall. I don't think you'd find that very surprising, but it is still really interesting to see what shots you can create and what the difference is between new and older models. I really enjoyed hitting both these clubs, and I think it's quite good to go back and work with an older club, especially in practice. The smaller club head's really going to help your accuracy, and perhaps modern days, because we have so much technology that's easier to hit, maybe sometimes our technique suffers for that because we don't have to refine it as well. So I think definitely for younger kids who are learning golf, I would definitely be tempted to give them something like this with a smaller club head and get them to learn how to strike the ball before then giving them that bigger, more forgiving club. Right, that's all for this week, guys. If you've enjoyed this, don't forget to like and comment, and make sure you're subscribed to our channel. Now, if you want any more content, head over to the National Club Golfers social media channels for more. See you again soon.